What's up, everybody on the podcast now? I'm Alex, and in this video, I want to talk about our first look at Dewey in Scream 5, Scream 2022, whatever you want to call it. I promised that I would do videos up to date when things happen on Scream, and this is me fulfilling the promise. To be flat out honest, there's not too much we can talk about, considering it is a very, very blurry shot of Dewey, of David Arquette as Dewey in Scream. Now, how this came about, pretty darn simple, and again, I don't think this will be the longest video in the world because there's not too much you can say. You know, obviously they're doing the sound, right, or the music, I would say, the score of Scream right now, right? Well, the director was doing it nicely. He thought he was fancy, thought he was cool, which he is, probably, maybe, and he was doing, you know, a kind of the camera looking at him, more like a selfie kind of shot, right? And he was showing the orchestra, right? Well, he accidentally, on his kind of like little desk area, he has laptops. I think he actually has two like devices that I personally think I saw a second one, but it doesn't really matter. The one closest to him had just a, well, I would say clear as day picture. It was, like, you know exactly what it was, but you can't see it like perfectly well. It was just a shot. It was a paused image of the movie of Dewey. And so that's, you know, like, I'll show the picture. You guys can see it the best that we can, right? Because again, it's not the clearest thing in the world. His mustache is in full effect, full suit and makeup there, absolutely, for sure. He looks great. Okay, he looks a little bit older, but, you know, obviously he is a little bit older, so that's completely fine. No, it's awesome to see him, and again, like, it's an official thing, I would argue, right? Unless the scene gets cut or something like that. But, well, here's what I want to say, because there's not too much more you can say. Well, number one, make sure if you haven't already, you guys are subscribed, bell icon. I have, again, fulfilled my promise, and I will be doing, you know, more updated Scream videos, you know, as we get closer. It'll definitely, you know, once something happens, I'll do a video immediately. If you guys haven't followed me over on Twitter yet, which is where this kind of whole this whole fiasco broke out, Podcast Now 15 is my Twitter handle. Link for that is always in the description below. Okay, the one thing I want to kind of go from this, or kind of like take from this, is I think that it proved, well, and it's tough because, like, people can always, you can call out the words and say, you know, I'm over exaggerating. I would assume that by seeing this image, it proves without a doubt he is not the opening kill. Like, there's no doubt about it. Now, you could say that could very easily be wrong, and it could just literally be a shot of the opening scene of the movie where he dies. You could do that. However, I assume he's talking to somebody. It looks like he's talking to somebody. The only thing you can kind of take from it is he doesn't, to me, this is just to me, he doesn't look like he's in uniform, like, at all. He also doesn't have, like, a hat or anything, right, which is something he does quite often when he is in, not every time, but sometimes, right? So I think he's kind of just in, like, normal clothes. A thing that a couple other people pointed out, too, about, you know, David Arquette specifically, is that people track this kind of stuff, right? He was on set for, like, at least a month, which was at least longer even than Neve Campbell, right, for Sydney. So, like, he probably does have more than once. Now, you could say maybe he dies, but maybe there's, like, a lot of flashbacks that they needed him for or something like that. I mean, there's ways, I guess, you could argue for him being on set longer than he needed to be. Like, if he was the first kill, the opening kill, or even maybe early on in the movie. I would argue, again, it makes sense to kill him. I'm not saying, like, well, I don't want to see him dead, but if you did kill him and you did it right and you did it for the right reasons, I'd be okay with it. So maybe they could do it, and maybe it's just towards the end of the movie, but this specific scene, to me, doesn't look like a beginning. Now, again, that's what's kind of hard about me saying, oh, it's 100%, like me giving all of these absolutes, right? Like, he could be in the wide open, like open space. He could be talking to Gail. He could be talking to whoever. And then, like, the next shot, he's walking in a back alley and he just gets, like, jumped by ghosts. I mean, like, you know what I mean? Like, anything can happen. You can obviously poke holes in it, but I just think, I don't know, based off how long he was on set, based off of this, I don't want, and I've said this before like 1,000 times, but I'm going to kind of, I'm not hypocritical, and I'm not a hypocrite, but I may show it in a second. I have said before, I don't want this movie to be just a rehash of the first movie. You know what I mean? I don't want things that are, like, overly compared to it, where, like, even like the opening kill, I don't want it to be a super big cat and mouse thing. I just don't want it to remind me too much of, Drew Barrymore in the first one, because I mean it's so amazing. And and again, as I always say, if you're gonna like repeat it, don't even do it. Just watch the first movie, do your own thing if you want to take nods and stuff like that. However, the hypocritical part is I do imagine the opening kill to be in a house. Now, I don't think that's all that hypocritical though, because most of the opening kills are in a house. You know what I mean? Especially Scream 4, where they just do fake out, or just or stabbed kind of films, right? All of those are in houses. So I think, to me, I just kind of picture the opening kill to be in a maybe not even a house, right? Just a building thing with walls. He's outside, so I don't know if you would get attacked by a masked killer when you're outside in broad daylight. I mean, it looks like it's during the day in broad daylight. So to me, I don't think it's going to happen. I don't think he's going to be the opening kill, which to some may be very cool, to some may be very disappointing, okay? But I do think at least we can see that from this image. Maybe I'm reading into it too much. I think that's what people do when they see these kind of images, though, so I think I'm just kind of fitting in with everybody else. But definitely let me know in the comments below, guys. What do you think? What do you think about the image? Do you think you can read into it any more than I did, or do you disagree with me? Any of those kind of things, let me know in the comments below. Again, if you haven't already, please make sure you guys are subscribed, bell icon turned on. Leave a like, would definitely help this video. Again, Twitter, Podcast Now 15. If you guys want to follow me over there, the link for that is in the description below. I will have the normal Scream video this upcoming Tuesday, okay? And obviously, again, if any of this kind of stuff happens spontaneously during the week, I'll absolutely cover it, okay? Truly do appreciate you guys watching. You guys are the diehards, and I truly do appreciate you, and so I hope to see you guys on the next video.